Devastating news out of Massachusetts after a 22-year-old is killed after getting struck by lightning. How his family is remembering him. Plus, new details about the armed home invasion in North Providence, what police are saying about the suspects and the victims. And 7 people now recovering in the hospital after getting hit by malfunctioning fireworks at a show in Cumberland. What officials say went wrong. Turning now to the big talker here in southern New England, though, it is heat wave number 2. You can just feel that heat almost just looking over the sky cam right now, looking over a quiet Providence. Let's get a check on the forecast right now. We're joined by storm tracker Kelly Bates, meteorologist Kelly Bates at the Weather Center. Kelly, I know you were saying we just have to hang on for a little bit longer and then we'll have some relief.
Yeah, it's coming. We unfortunately have to be a little bit more patient with this. We are about 2/3 through this thing. We have 2 more days, Monday and Tuesday, where we'll likely see basically a repeat of what we had today. Right now in Providence, we're on our way down temperature-wise. We're at 80. It does feel like 84, though. Our dew points across southern New England are firmly in the 70s, and that's, of course, making it feel even hotter. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We had a line of showers that was headed right towards our corner of southern New England, and for the most part, it fell apart. Those that saw showers, they were brief and really not significant. And this is also something that will likely repeat for tomorrow. It's not, until we get to Tuesday where we start to see some real improvement. Otherwise, as we go to the overnight, look for temperatures that will be holding in a very warm place. We're likely going to bottom out in the 70s, making it very easy to see these temperatures pop up not only into the 80s, but the 90s. And should we do that, that'll make Monday day 5 of our heat wave. Looks like we'll do 6 days of this heat wave before we find relief. And I'll tell you how nice it's going to be and our next real chance of rain coming up in just a couple minutes. Olivia?
Kelly, thank you. Now, including here in southern New England, over 70 million people across the U.S. are under heat alerts just today. Now, those alerts include both heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. Now, these alerts span from coast to coast, including in Seattle, Portland, St. Louis, Detroit, New York, Philadelphia, and Boston. Now, majority of Massachusetts is now under a heat advisory until 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Officials closing Horseneck Beach in Westport this afternoon because of Portuguese man-o-war sightings and intense riptides. Now, unless posted, the beach is set to open back up tomorrow morning. And this is new tonight at 11. A 22-year-old from Boston is dead after getting struck by lightning in Wyoming. Jack Murphy of South Boston was on a wilderness emergency training course when he was struck near Enos Lake. Now, Murphy graduated Boston College High School in 2018. The family is asking people donate to an education fund in Jack's name that will support others who have a passion to live and serve in the great outdoors. The 22-year-old's funeral will be held on Wednesday. A 22-year-old Massachusetts woman is dead after a motorcycle crash. This happened last night on I-95 near Thurbers Ave in Providence. Now, police say this was a single vehicle crash that remains under investigation tonight. The woman's name has not yet been released. 4 kids and 3 adults are recovering in the hospital after they were hit by fireworks that malfunctioned at a festival last night in Cumberland. Now, this happened just after 10 o'clock at Diamond Hill Park during a fireworks display at Cumberland Fest. Now, officials say this was a professional fireworks show, but some of the fireworks just didn't go up in the air and instead exploded when they hit the ground near a large group of people watching that show. 3 ambulances were called and all 7 people were taken to local hospitals with minor injuries. The Rhode Island State Fire Marshal's office is investigating. An East Providence woman is now charged with felony assault after drunkenly stabbing a man with a screwdriver. Police say they were called to Weldon Ave for an argument between a man and that woman who were both drunk. Now, the man was stabbed in the arm but refused to be taken to a hospital. The name of the 2 people involved have not yet been released. North Providence police say they believe the 3 people who were held at gunpoint in an armed home invasion last night knew the people who did it, but there are still no suspects in custody. Now, we first told you about this last night on ABC 6 News 11 at 11. Police were called to Wentworth Street at about 6:20 after 3 adults said at least 4 men with handguns, all wearing masks, busted through the front door and stole drugs and at least $3,000 in cash. Now, those suspects fled the scene in a blue Honda. The victims are telling police they do not want to press charges against anyone. This remains an ongoing investigation. And now to developing news out of the nation's capital. After a marathon vote-a-rama in which the Senate voted on 41 proposed amendments to the bill, the Inflation Reduction Act passed this afternoon with just 50 votes. Vice President Harris casting that deciding vote. Here's ABC with the latest.
The Inflation Reduction Act is heading to the House of Representatives after passing the U.S. Senate Sunday. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer spoke by phone with President Biden after Democrats handed him a huge legislative win.
And I am really confident that the Inflation Reduction Act will endure as one of the defining feats of the 21st century.
The president celebrated the vote, saying, "I ran for president promising to make government work for working families again, and that is what this bill does, period." The bill is the result of months of fragile negotiations among Democrats. Using special Senate budget rules, they were able to pass the bill without any Republican support.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
The package will make the single biggest investment in clean energy in the nation's history, allow Medicare to negotiate on some prescription drug prices, set a $2,000 annual cap on drug costs for seniors, and lock in a minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. Republicans argue the bill will do little to fight inflation.
So from our perspective, we will see those tax increases coming down the line, and Americans are going to feel it.
The final vote on the Inflation Reduction Act followed a near 16-hour vote-a-rama, during which 41 amendments were considered. Republicans were able to block part of the bill, a proposal from Democrats that needed 60 votes to set a $35 monthly cap on the price of insulin. 7 Republicans crossed the aisle to back the insulin measure, but it fell short. The estimated $740 billion package will need to pass the House before making it to the president's desk. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Providence officials say about 14,000 people came out to the capital city today for southern New England's largest Dominican festival. This annual festival was held at Roger Williams Park. ABC 6 News reporter Dominique Turner walks us through those events.
Many came out to see MLB superstar and former Red Sox Manny Ramirez, but just hours into the largest Dominican festival in southern New England, Ramirez canceling his appearance as a grand marshal for a family emergency down in Miami.
New England's largest Dominican festival kicking off at the corner of Broad and Thurbers in Providence Sunday morning. The festival has been a summer staple for 3 decades. Thousands coming to Providence to celebrate, but also with hopes to see Manny Ramirez, MLB legend, who was announced as a grand marshal last month. But hours into the festivities, parade officials confirming Ramirez had to cancel his appearance for a family emergency in Miami. Others in attendance, Governor Dan McKee, Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos, and city and state leaders. A staple in Dominican tradition, Diablo Puellos at every corner. Providence residents thrilled to see their culture pour onto their hometown streets.
I always say everybody has to be nice, no matter what country it is. But when it's my country, oh my God, it's so really exciting.
Parade goers swarming Broad Street, watching their loved ones, leaders, and neighbors walk in the parade of their culture. All thankful the iconic parade is back in full force after years of restrictions due to COVID.
Last year, we didn't really get a festival or like a parade because of COVID, so it's just good to finally be back out, doing events, staying safe,
The festival ran until 8 o'clock at Roger Williams Temple to Music with food, dancing, and performances. For now, in the newsroom, I'm Dominique Turner, ABC 6 News.
We are counting down to the Rhode Island Film Festival in downtown Providence. Nearly 7,000 films were submitted, just over 300 chosen to air this week. RIF's director calls this Southern New England Super Bowl, giving locals a huge opportunity to be seen by thousands and potentially go on to win an Oscar, an honor that's halved more than a dozen times in the festival's history.
We're very fortunate to have a festival like this in Rhode Island because it's a global hub for filmmakers from all over the world. It's an Oscar qualifying event. Over the years, we've had a history of showcasing some of the future Oscar nominees in that lineup.
Very, very exciting. Now, to learn more about the films premiering this week at RIF and how you can get tickets, just log on to our website, abc6.com. Coming up after the break, thousands of flights delayed across the country again today. We'll let you know which airport in the country had the most trouble. Plus, New Mexico authorities giving a big update in the recent murders of Muslim men. We'll let you know what that is. Stick with us.
Many states have a tax-free weekend. Well, we thought you should save too. Right now, get 15% off everything, or get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the difference at Jordan's.
I'm going in.
Hey Amanda, how much does a new kitchen typically cost?
Here's a calculator from a kitchen center in Providence.
We love our smart devices, but sometimes our questions can be complicated.
Hey Amanda, should we redo our kitchen or just buy a new house?
That's a step above my pay grade, Lisa.
When tricky financial questions come up, ask Washington Trust. Because sometimes the most important connection is a human one. Washington Trust. Trusted advisor since 1800.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Dennis. Is your employer telling you that you can't treat with your own doctor when you get injured? Is your employer not providing you with a memorandum of agreement? Don't get confused. Don't get tied down. Don't get buffaloed. Don't get steered the wrong way. Call me now before it's too late. 401-595-4571. That's my personal cell line. 401-595-4571. Protect yourself. Call me now.
The Supreme Court's dangerous attack on abortion rights is a call to action. They're coming for marriage equality and voting rights next. I'm Shannon Liss-Reardon. For decades, I've led the legal battles and forged new law to protect your rights here in Massachusetts and around the country. I have spent my career winning the toughest fights. Now I'll be your champion in the courtroom. I'm Shannon Liss-Reardon. As Massachusetts' next Attorney General, I will fight for you, and together we will win.
Not all states have a tax-free weekend. That doesn't seem right. So come into Jordan's and get 15% off everything right now, or get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the difference at Jordan's.
Turning now to national headlines this evening, New Mexico authorities now releasing a picture of a vehicle of interest in connection to the murders of Muslim men. Now, here's that car you can see on your screen right there. Investigators believe the murder of a man Friday night may now be linked to the murder of two others last week. Now, both of the men murdered last week were from Pakistan and members of the same mosque. The FBI is now joining in on that investigation.
We're devoting resources to key patrol areas and neighborhoods within Albuquerque. We have lifted overtime caps for our officers so that we could utilize several of our specialized units to help ensure there's a stronger presence of Albuquerque officers to keep the community safe.
The victims in all three cases were ambushed by a shooter or shooters with no warning, fired on and killed. Crime Stoppers has now increased the reward for the suspect to $15,000. 4 people are dead, including 2 children, after an SUV driven by an alleged drunk driver hit a golf cart in Texas. Miguel Espinoza has been arrested by Galveston, Texas on 4 counts of intoxication manslaughter. Now, the accident happened late Saturday night when Espinoza's SUV allegedly ran a stop sign and hit the golf cart. There were 6 people on that cart at the time of the crash. The adult driver of the golf cart died at the scene, while an adult female passenger and 2 children died later at the hospital. 2 other passengers are listed in critical condition. 6 people now recovering in the hospital in Pennsylvania after a tree fell on them at a high school reunion this afternoon. Now, the group was celebrating their 30-year reunion with West Philadelphia High School. Now, all of the injured were between the ages of 66 and 67 years old and were all rushed to area hospitals. Now, as of last check, all were listed in stable condition. Flight issues continue across the country. Today alone, over 850 flights have been canceled and 4,000 flights have been delayed. Now, that's all according to FlightAware. Chicago O'Hare saw the most cancellation and delays today, with approximately 12% of all of their flights canceled and 35% of those flights delayed. Now, yesterday, airports across the country saw record delays in and out of the United States, over 7,200 delays in total. Severe weather continues to impact much of the country. 1 week after deadly flash flooding in Kentucky, more rain is forecasted in the area, and in California, visitors to Death Valley National Park were stranded when roads were turned into rivers following torrential rains. Here's ABC with more.
California's Death Valley National Park remains closed this weekend after record rainfall caused dangerous flash flooding on Friday. About 1,000 people were stranded when more than 6 months worth of rain fell in a matter of hours.
It sounded like the world was ending, and then, just this rushing water everywhere in a place that's usually absolutely bone dry. It was pretty incredible.
Jeff Moreno was visiting from Vermont with his family.
When I stepped out, it probably came up to just below my knee. Up by the park itself, the water was probably in spots, probably over your head.
It took them 6 hours to make it out of the park as the floods turned roads into rivers, cars buried in the mud and debris. Severe weather impacting other parts of the country as well. In Atlanta, Georgia, roads were flooded after the area was hit with 3.5 inches of rain in just 6 hours. Heavy rains flooded numerous homes in Brookland, Arkansas, leaving some residents stranded.
I thought, Lord, help me, please, because I had never saw anything like it.
And in eastern Kentucky, just 1 week after the deadly flash flooding destroyed homes, businesses, and roads, the area is bracing for more rain. Volunteers and relief organizations are now helping residents clean up and rebuild their lives.
It's a blessing. It's a big blessing because I didn't know where else to turn.
President Biden will visit the region on Monday, where he'll meet with the families and get a first-hand look at the recovery efforts. Mola Lengi, ABC News, New York.
And now, your ABC 6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Kelly Bates.
Hey everyone, we do have a lot of haze hanging in the air, and as we overlook Providence, keep in mind it is warm and it is super muggy out there. Our dew points are sky high in the 70s, and here's where we topped out today. We basically topped out in the 90s, but of course with the humidity, it felt like warmer than 100 for a good portion of areas away from the coast for a good portion of the day. Well, here's where we are right now. Temperatures are on their way down. We're holding at 80 though in Providence. We're also matching that as we look up towards Boston. Otherwise, we're finding the 70s, but that's not what it feels like. It feels hotter. It feels like the 80s because of that high humidity that is in place. Now, this trend of the feeling warmer than the actual air temperatures, that's going to continue for another 2 days. And that's why the heat advisory has been expanded until 8 p.m. on Tuesday. This is one of the reasons why our wind direction, driving in air from the southwest. Here in southern New England, a southwesterly inflow tends to boost both heat and humidity. And that's precisely where we've been for several days now. A look at our satellite and radar shows this front off to our west, but we're not really getting into any of the train of precipitation here. What we're doing is basically making a very unsettled environment, boosting the heat and humidity. And basically, through enough sunlight, we're making our own showers and thunderstorms later in the day. As we lose the light of the day, everything sort of fizzles out. And that's what happened earlier on. A couple lucky communities got a couple of raindrops, but I think the irony here is kind of interesting that the hole in the line opened up and went right around us for at least any measurable precipitation. Nothing measured at the airport in terms of today, but yeah, we could use the rain, no question about it. Our futurecast as we go from the overnight tonight into tomorrow shows that we're looking at, well, mainly clear skies. Tomorrow we'll see a couple of clouds. Once we get into the afternoon, we'll make our own clouds, give us a chance of showers and thunderstorms, and that will repeat all over again for Tuesday. But Tuesday we have a better chance of picking up showers and thunderstorms, and the reason why has to do with a front that's coming through. A cold front that will help bring temperatures down, thankfully, once we get to Wednesday. But you'll also notice that our dew points, our mugginess remains high even after that front passes on Tuesday. So it is going to take until we get past Thursday before we can see some real improvement in both heat and humidity. Again, in the meantime, the heat advisory expanded until Tuesday at 8 p.m. That means people who are sensitive to heat-related illnesses, our elderly friends and relatives, very young children, have the potential of, well, seeing those conditions. So that's why the heat advisory is issued, and that's what it stands for. In case you were curious, there you go. Here's your planner for your Monday. We're looking at temperatures to come up very quickly into the 80s. Excuse me, if you want to make it a beach day, look for a beachside high of 85. 85, by the way, is where we'll likely be once we get to 5 p.m. Our extended forecast will show that temperatures will be going down behind that cold front as we look at Wednesday. And we have to wait until after Thursday till we also bring down the humidity. So it's going to be a couple of days where it's going to be just muggy for Wednesday and for Thursday. Both days we'll have a chance of a shower. But if we're going to see a thunderstorm, it is honestly most likely Tuesday afternoon and evening.
We need that rain.
Yeah, we do. We need every drop that we can get, or something tropical. No.
I was going to say, is that on the way? You're scheming over there.
There's an area of low pressure off the African coast that does have the chance of developing midweek, so we're going to be keeping an eye on it.
Something to watch for the rest of the week.
All right, I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
Well, we'll fill you in during the break. All right, in baseball now, it's win or come home for the Cumberland Little League team, but they're used to this type of thing. Maybe they could give some lessons to the Red Sox, once again struggling with their outfield defense in their series finale with the Royals. Stick around. Sports is next.
Hi, we're Dry Zone Basement Systems, the all things basement-y company. Since 1987, over 85,000 homeowners have trusted basement systems to fix their basements. Basement waterproofing, foundation wall repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. Call Dry Zone Basement Systems today for all things basement-y.
Howdy. I'm Matthew the Twig Largest, voice of the forest. I'm an ISA certified arborist of New England and president of Largest Forestry Incorporated.
I'm Ash, the office manager here at Largest Forestry Inc.
We are fully licensed and insured.
We offer a wide variety of quality residential and commercial tree services, ranging from fine tree pruning, plant health care, and stump grinding, to emergency and hazardous tree removal.
Forest blessings!
Trees are cool and so are you!
Long Moving and Storage is New England's premier moving and storage company. Whether it's a household or an office move, the experienced team at Long Moving and Storage will handle your items with the utmost care.
Whatever your moving and storage needs, Long Moving and Storage has got you covered.
I know Nellie. She's a fixture in our communities.
I know Nellie. She helps small businesses across Rhode Island.
I know Nellie. She's a working mom like me.
People who know Nellie Gorbea know she'll be a great governor.
Nellie knows housing and how to fix the housing crisis.
Nellie knows elections. She protected my vote from Trump Republicans.
Nellie knows reproductive rights are under attack. No one will fight harder to protect them.
Nellie knows for our kids to thrive, we need pre-K for every child.
I know Rhode Island, and as governor, I'll get things done.
Why wait, Massachusetts? Shop now and seize the summer. At Raymore and Flanigan, you'll save 10 or 15% on everything. Shop online and in-store today, and you can save more than twice the Massachusetts sales tax. Why wait when you can get 0% interest for 60 months with equal payments? Quality furniture, in stock, and delivered to your home in 3 days or less. Don't delay. These deals won't last. Double your tax savings now at Raymore and Flanigan.
I'm John Calcagni, a former federal prosecutor and head of New England's premier fully staffed criminal defense firm. If you or a loved one has been accused of a crime, call me.
Download the ABC6 News app today for all of your news, weather, and sports. Just a tap away in the palm of your hand. Available for iPhone and Android. Download the ABC6 News app today.
Now, ABC6 Sports.
The confusing case of the 2022 Boston Red Sox continues. They started by trading their starting catcher before last week's trade deadline. Then they added 3 major league players who could help a contender. But the other day they released Jackie Bradley Jr., who did struggle at the plate but played a mean defensive outfield. A microcosm of all that shown in the 7th inning of today's game against the Royals. Tommy Pham, traded for at the deadline, struggling in the leadoff spot, but he finally breaks through in this 4-run ballgame, crushing a 2-run homer, making it 5-3 Kansas City. So if the additions play like that, the Sox will be all right, right? Well, not when the subtractions the team made make this much of a difference. Jaren Duran getting an extended look in center field. He can't get a look at this fly ball. Should be an out, turns into a triple. Not the first time he's lost a ball in the sky. He gave up an inside-the-park grand slam a few weeks ago while JBJ is still unemployed. This next one's a difficult play. Long shot to the wall, but Duran mistimes it. The ball goes off the glove. A run comes down to score, making it 6-3. Duran immediately barking at Royals fans in center field who were giving him the business. He's being put in a tough position, and he's struggling with it. And it shows. His play, the start of the unraveling, an ugly loss for the Sox, 13-5. Kansas City takes 3 of 4 in this series.
I mean, I'm not doing much good for myself, but I have teammates that are helping me, keeping me positive and stuff. So it's always helpful to have guys like that. He just happened to be throwing like little bottle caps at me and stuff, so I was just telling him to stop throwing it, and then one of the ushers came over and just told him to stop. So
he was throwing stuff at you?
Yeah, just like little bottle caps, but nothing major, you know.
The Yankees loses a 4 straight, trying to avoid a sweep in St. Louis. Game tied in the 6th. Paul DeJong goes the other way. Aaron Judge can't get there. The go-ahead run scores from first. Part of 3 runs in the inning. New York definitely on a losing skid. 5 straight L's. 12-9 Cardinals, the final.
I mean, we're definitely going through it right now. Frustrated with how we've played, but I still feel really good about our team and how we've done this year as a whole. Wouldn't say anything in particular, just like when we get a good pitching game, we don't hit, and vice versa, and we're just kind of in one of those, this last 5 games we've been, kind of grinding like that.
Take a look at this. Woonsocket native and Minnesota Twins skipper Rocco Baldelli angry and ejected after arguing a questionable call. Here it is. Twins catcher Gary Sanchez applying the tag to the Blue Jays runner at the plate in the top of the 10th inning, called out on the field. But the replay officials overruled that call, giving Toronto the winning run. They claim the catcher was blocking the plate. Baldelli appalled by the call.
That's beyond embarrassing for our game. I can't even believe I'm sitting here talking to you guys about this right now. It's one of the worst moments I think we've seen of umpiring in any game I've ever been a part of in baseball, and I think it was pathetic what just played out.
All right, let's lighten things up a little bit now with the Little Leaguers from Cumberland. Once again, they're playing with their backs against the wall, losing their opening game in the Metro Regional to head to the elimination bracket. It's the same scenario they faced in the Rhode Island State Tournament, and they won the whole thing there, trying to have history repeat itself in the regional tournament and keep their hopes for the Little League World Series alive. Also repeating itself is the way the scoring started. A home run put Rhodey on the board last night. It happens again tonight. Ryan Amaral with a 2-run jack. The cameras can't even see where it lands. Cumberland goes up 2-zip. Jersey would tie the game at 2 in the 3rd. 1 out, a chopper up the middle. Rhode Island gets the force out at first, but the go-ahead run comes down on the fielder's choice. Cumbie now trailing 3-2. They continued to threaten to take the lead back, leaving the bases loaded in the 4th and 5th. They're loaded again in the 6th and final inning. And the 3rd out is a called strikeout. Cumberland eliminated from the regional tournament, falling 3-2 to New Jersey. Quite a run and an unforgettable summer that these kids will look back on fondly. We go to football now. The Patriots made a lot of people scratch their heads, including some rival executives, when they drafted Cole Strange in the 1st round in April's draft. But Strange is already fitting a need for the Pats. We take a look at the guard in tonight's Making the Team segment. Strange is already a member of the Patriots' starting offensive line, working on the interior after playing 5 years on the FCS level, or Division I AA. He enjoyed himself during some rookie hazing, going through the slip and slide before practice the other day. He now just needs to make sure his play doesn't slip as he gets ready for his first preseason game this week.
I don't know if I've learned anything about myself. I don't have a lot of time for introspection. I wish I could say more on that, but maybe a few months down the road. Not a blur, it's just I guess I'm so focused on the here and now, But like I said, I feel like it's gone pretty well.
And a scheduling note for fans hoping to go to training camp practices this week. The gates will open at 3 p.m. tomorrow and Tuesday. This is a change from how things have been done in Foxborough up to this point, with the team practicing in the morning. They're now in the afternoon this week. The practice is scheduled to end around 5:45 in the evening the next 2 days. That's all for sports. ABC 6 News will continue after the break.
I'm Casey Cantz. Watch Good Morning Providence weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Some businesses start out small, but when you see a growth opportunity for your business, you'll need cash fast. Fifth Venture lets you take advantage of those opportunities that just can't wait for a traditional bank loan. Quick growth requires fast, no-hassle funding. In most cases, Fifth Venture clients are approved within hours. Applying is fast, easy, and painless. At Fifth Venture, your success is our success. Fifth Venture, fast, flexible cash to grow your business.
Call Fifth Venture at 781-590-1888. That's 781-590-1888.
Inflation.
situation.
It can be hard just listening to the news.
Shooting at an elementary school.
As if politicians in Washington are dragging us backwards.
Voting to overturn Roe v. Wade.
I'm determined to help change things. I've spent my career fighting for Rhode Islanders, standing up to the Trump agenda and the NRA. In Congress, I'll fight to protect a woman's right to choose, lower prescription drug costs, and build an affordable, clean energy economy. I'm Seth Magaziner, and I approve this message because our kids deserve a brighter future.
Feel the sting. Scorpions. Rock Believer World Tour. Scorpions. Friday, September 9th, Premier Theater at Foxwoods Resort Casino. One venomous night. Scorpions. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and Foxwoods.com. Don't miss Scorpions.
Dr. Grassi has been very influential in changing my life around with rebuilding my entire mouth. Due to a bout with cancer back in 2000, I went through dentist after dentist after dentist, trying to find a solution to the problems I was having. To relate to people and be able to talk to people without keeping my mouth closed, I was able to smile. Dr. Gracia has definitely changed my life for the better.
Why wait, Massachusetts? Shop now and seize the summer. At Raymore and Flanigan, you'll save 10 or 15% on everything. Shop online and in-store today, and you can save more than twice the Massachusetts sales tax. Why wait when you can get 0% interest for 60 months with equal payments? Quality furniture, in stock, and delivered to your home in 3 days or less. Don't delay. These deals won't last. Double your tax savings now at Raymore and Flanigan.
All right, put your thinking caps on. The Cincinnati Zoo is asking for the public's help in naming its newborn baby hippo. Bibby the hippo gave birth on Wednesday night. Congratulations, Bibby. Bibby's previous calf is Fiona, who was born premature, weighing just 29 pounds, which is very small for a hippo. But now Fiona is happy and healthy and weighs about 1,300 pounds. It's quite the weight gain. The public is encouraged to send name ideas for Fiona's little sister through the Cincinnati Zoo's website. We're going to cast our votes after for which one of the three of us has the best name.
Okay.
What are yours?
Well, let's have her do the weather.
Okay. All right.
The
the nonsense comes after the important stuff. Go ahead, Kelly.
All right. Weather. We have 92 for the next for Monday and also 93 for Tuesday. So we have 2 more days to add on to the heat wave that currently stands at a 4-day trend. Hazy, hot, and humid both Monday and Tuesday. Both days will pop up showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Our chance of actually seeing them, though, is actually pretty slight. Our best shot at getting precipitation starts Tuesday night and lasts through Thursday. During that time frame, we have an above 50% chance of picking up a shower, but still there's no guarantee, there's no slam dunk. What we do know is that temperatures will drop to below average from Tuesday to Wednesday, so we do see cooler temps finally back in the forecast.
Hippo name?
Henrietta.
Henrietta?
Intern Montana says Hector after our buddy Hector Molina, so I'll go with
Hungry Hippo.
Hungry
Hippo. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching ABC 6 News at 11. We hope you have a great night. We'll be back here for Good Morning Providence.